day and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Trendz Travel. I'm your host for today, Uslondiwe Wagamtalane. We are coming to you from the beautiful and newly established Menlyn Precinct in Tshwane. We're kicking off the show today with some Scotch whiskey and we'll follow up with some great photography in Kenya. Coming up next on Trendz Travel this week, we explore tourism in Uganda. Beautiful photography in Kenya. Color, dance and fun in Burkina Faso. Finally, we celebrate World Scotch Day. All this and so much more on Trendz Travel this week.
Held during the week of Johnny Walker founder Alexander Walker's birthday, the day sees Diego encouraging Scotch fans around the world to take part in celebrating Scotland's national drink. With celebrations taking place in over 70 countries worldwide, even South Africa got to roll out the red carpet for a star-studded party.
South Africa is a whiskey market. Let's be clear on that. You know, in Africa, 2/3 of the population, when they're drinking whiskey, they're drinking Scotch. So it is only natural that South Africa would be a part of that. So tonight what we're doing is we are toasting to the water of life. That's what whiskey means in Gaelic in Scotland. So South Africans, we're also toasting to this wonderful liquid that's enjoyed all over the continent.
Supermodel Shanina Sheikh, Hollywood actor James Marsden and actress Suki Waterhouse led a series of special international Scotch Day celebrations. With Marsden partying in the Philippines, Waterhouse in Mexico City and Johannesburg was graced by supermodel Shanina Sheikh.
I was asked by Diageo to follow this journey with them to Scotland, and there I shot a campaign promotional photo shoot. And I learned all about Scotch pretty much while I was in Scotland, and I was with James Marsden and Suki Waterhouse. We had a wonderful day. We did Scotch tastings. I found a new cocktail that I love and that I discovered, which is a Johnny and Ginger, and I'm obsessed with it, I must say. And then now I'm here in South Africa and we're just spreading the word about Scotch, and that it's not just for a male and just for certain occasions. It's for anyone. It could be drinking cocktails, and it's for always like females. So we're going to spread the word. So it's about younger generations as well as drinking responsibility. Yeah, it's been amazing celebrating with the South African people, and over here you do love your whiskey Scotch, so that's so awesome. I began my day with a Johnny and Ginger as well, and just promoting and getting the word out that something for everyone you can drink, and finding your own personal taste as well. That's really important, so don't be afraid to try.
Amongst other celebrities that were happy to celebrate the annual International Scotch Day was South African darling TV presenter Mbali Nkosi.
Well, for me, I've had an amazing day already because I was at a shoot and all I had was loads and loads of Scotch lying all around me from beginning to end. But I'm a Scotch drinker, so I find it like epic that they're actually celebrating the day. Even yesterday, we had like a pre-tasting session. So you got to like taste different types of ranges and actually see what's actually nice about each different one, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Nkosi is a big Scotch lover and believes that this drink should be enjoyed by all, not just men.
For me, I've always been a Scotch drinker. Like even when I think like back when I started drinking, I was always my double Jameson, double appetizer. And even yesterday, I found out that the first distillery was by a woman. So this whole thing about women can't drink it is actually not true. We actually started making it. So I actually feel like that is something people must remember. Must.
What is an International Scotch Day without one or two cocktail mixes?
Hi, my name is Ewan Gunn and I'm here for International Scotch Day. And one of the things that we want to demonstrate is the versatility of Scotch whisky. A lot of people think you should only drink it straight up or on the rocks or with water, but actually it's a really mixable drink as well. So we're going to demonstrate a couple of the perfect serves to enjoy on International Scotch Day. First one I'm going to demonstrate is a Johnny Walker Red Berry Iced Tea, and it's actually really easy to make. So first thing you need is a bottle of trusty Johnny Walker Red Label. You add 1 shot or 25 ml of red label to a tall glass with ice. You then add a half measure, so half that shot of lemon juice, freshly squeezed if you can, and half a shot of elderflower syrup. Okay. Next thing you add is you top it up with some kind of red berry iced tea. You top it right up to the top. So it's going to be a long drink. It's going to be beautiful for a hot summer's day. Last thing you need to do is give it just a little stir, as I'm doing now. Just mix it all up together nice. You want to add a little bit of mint? Here's a little trick for you. Mint smells a little bit. Take your mint, a little slap. Suddenly that smells a lot stronger. So tuck that in the side of the glass. And lastly, garnish with just a lime wedge. And then you have a beautiful Johnnie Walker red berry iced tea, which you can sit outside and enjoy in the beautiful Johannesburg sunshine. Cheers. For International Scotch Day, we're demonstrating just how versatile Scotch whisky can be. It's amazing in a long mixed drink. You don't just have to drink it straight up or on the rocks. I'm going to introduce you to a Johnnie Ginger, which is one of the easiest cocktails you ever make, but also I think one of the best. Very simple to do. You take a measure, 25 ml, or a shot of Johnnie Walker Black Label. You can make it with Red Label as well. You top it up with ginger beer, and that works beautifully because Johnnie Walker has a signature smokiness to it, and that complements the spice of ginger beer just beautifully. You finish it off, a little squeeze of lime on top, drop that in, and you have a Johnnie Ginger.
Let's all raise a glass and celebrate International Scotch Day.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, let's raise a glass of scotch and celebrate International Scotch Day. Cheers, guys.
Kenya's biggest slum is Brian Otieno's muse. The 25-year-old photographer captures images of ordinary life in Kibera, a teeming settlement of 800,000 people, in a way only an insider can. Otieno was born and raised in Kibera. He started an online project called Kibera Stories in 2013. By posting his pictures on social media in the same way people post selfies and what they're having for lunch, Otieno says he is trying to show the world that in the slum there is more to life than poverty and violence.
Closer to the normalcy of life inside a slum from an insider's point of view, not from an outsider's point of view, because na outsider wengi sana wanakam Kibera, and the photo yani zile stories wanashare ni zile stories zina benefit, yani ni zile tu zao tu, yani si stories za wase, ni zile stories zinaleta ziko beneficial kwao, aziko reflected anywhere to the people in Kibera, but Kibera stories, it's about the people. Yeah, it's about the people. It's about me, because I'm not paid to do this. Yeah, it's a volunteer project. I work every day, kupiga photos na kushare them on social media.
Kibera is the trendy, obligatory stop-off for many foreign dignitaries who want to be seen dedicating their time to good, and any journalist looking for a story about poverty in Africa can find it here in half an hour. There are even travel agencies and tour operators offering guided visits around Kibera, one of Africa's largest slums. Otieno also wants people to come to Kibera, but to talk about it for different reasons: an underground rap scene, urban culture, fashion, and the powerful stories of ordinary people.
Me niko born and raised here. hizi stories na share ni zile pia stories nimepitia mimi, ni vitu nimeona zikihappen. Yeah. So la pia niko na ile access, yani wase wananijua around through hizi stories. Pia nile nimeke friendship watu wenye siku wanajua saizi na wajua, yani na wajua poa sana. Wakina pale kwa barabara wanaona tu uni storyteller, uni mse wetu. Yeah.
Otieno is also a freelance journalist, and that is how he makes a living. Kibera is home to some of the poorest people in the country. There is no running water and only a few shared toilets and bathrooms for families living in one-roomed shacks. Security is also a major issue in Kibera. Gangs often rule and police seldom enter except to tackle riots.
Unapata hapa hivi Kibera, like there are different type of people, different type of photographers, like each one doing like his or her own work. But chenye naweza sema is that here I'm really happy to have like Brian around, because he's one of the like Kibera ambassadors that are trying like to show like the real thing that is happening inside here, just out of passion, like to get people to know, learn the truth, not just like the people that come for business issues and run away after that.
Kibera Stories is a source of hope for Otieno and those that are familiar with his work. It is also a sign that things are changing, he says.
Hii project yangu Kibera Stories ni inspire another generation of storytellers watu wenye wana document Kibera. So maybe in future kama tunaweza kamsoi pamoja to fanya like an exhibition or to do something like a museum where tunaweza exhibit these photos, watu wakama waone this is Indo Kibera saizi in 2018, or pia this in Kibera ilikuwa vile in Kibera ilikuwa in 2013. Yeah. Watu yani inaonyesha hiyo development, inaonyesha hiyo gradual growth yani.
Kibera Stories has close to 6,800 followers on Instagram.
We have so much more after the break, so don't go anywhere.
Technology is used for both positive and negative.
Some governments block the internet in times of protest.
With this internet blackout, it's impossible for me to do it, so I have to travel to Douala.
This act is a true violation of the rights of citizens.
In Africa, people are always coming up with innovative ways to use technology to solve some of their problems.
The more interesting piece of technology is actually the artificial intelligence.
AI, it's utilizing data to make your life easier.
On Network, we'll give you Africa's technology and social media news.
For all your technology news, join Siphumelele Zondi every Saturday at 17:30.
Violence against women, it also talks to such behavior where teachers, instead of educating kids and give them dignity, they strip them of their dignity.
The First Lady.
The First Lady, her action, it's just unacceptable. I must say that it cannot be condoned. If I had it my way, I would say we had to act and make sure that he goes to jail.
This scourge is not ceasing.
The angry people, the intolerant, it's so huge. So then the scourge finds itself within that particular environment. You cannot say that it's a standalone. It's influenced by social ills, economic challenges.
Join me in Port Said live every Monday to Thursday at 17:30.
South Africa is in need of a frank dialogue. My name is Onkgopote JJ Tabani. Join me every Sunday at 8:30 on SABC News Channel 404 as we speak to leaders of society, business and government about the state of our nation. Come now, let's talk frankly.
Welcome back. As Trendz Travel, we are always trying to explore new places to entice you to get up out of your couch and see the world. In our next segment, we go to Uganda. A private tour firm in Uganda is giving Ugandans and visitors a chance to experience Kampala's scenic landscapes aboard the city's first ever sightseeing tourist bus. Promote Uganda Safari wants passengers on board the open-roof double-decker bus to see historic buildings and sites that are significant to the country's history and culture. The Kampala Sightseeing Tour Bus goes through a designated route where passengers get to see monuments like the Education and Independence Monuments, a statue of the country's first president, Sir Edward Mutisa, key buildings like Parliament, the Bank of Uganda, churches, mosques and historic sites significant to the Buganda Kingdom, including the Kabaka's Royal Palace, Kabaka's Lake and Kasubi Royal Tombs. The 69-seater bus was launched in December and makes 2 trips daily.
Despite being in Kampala for the last 35 years, it's as if I'm coming in from America now because I'm seeing things in detail.
The tour takes about 4 hours and costs $25 for East Africans and $30 for foreigners. Children's tickets are discounted.
It's interesting. We get to see the things that we don't see every day and that you're able to take a picture because you know when you're moving in town, you are safeguarding your phone, your camera. So it's a nice experience.
By just going around, it has demonstrated to me that most of the times I walk or drive looking down and I never actually raise my eyes to see the beauty, the history, the culture that this city has to offer, and therefore I must say that this has been one of my best moments in this city, which I came to in 1996 as a student at university.
Uganda aims to boost annual tourist numbers to 4 million over the next 3 years, helped by improvements in road networks around game parks and other attractions. The country is more known for its wildlife tours in various national parks, home to chimpanzees, gorillas, as well as spectacular waterfalls and big game animals. The company is working to bring in more buses this year and will also expand the tour circuit to other cities in the country. Plans are also in place to introduce night tours.
Research shows that a number of tourists have been coming to Uganda and leave with a lot of money that they had wanted to spend in Uganda but could not spend it because of the limited tourism products that we've been offering. And worldwide, a city like Uganda, which has got a lot of history, rated to be one of the safest cities in East Africa, really deserves this kind of product because there is a lot to offer.
We do have the visitors that are only here, say, for 2 days, and probably have a conference in the morning and have the whole afternoon free. And this is a wonderful opportunity because there is so much to learn within the 7 hills of Kampala, within the Kingdom of Uganda, about where we are and where we are located. So for us, this is wonderful.
Those behind the tourist bus say so far the response has been positive, with morning and afternoon rides often fully booked.
They have been widely portrayed as strong and powerful, but in essence, they're gentle and shy.
What he will do, he will make a victim.
These are the mountain gorillas of Volcanoes National Park in Kinigi, Rwanda. The International Union for Conservation of Nature once listed them as critically endangered species. Nonetheless, this is about to change. Animal experts have cited the possibility of a population increase for these animals by the end of 2018, when the next census will be conducted.
Looking, back where this conservation coming from, it's really a great story, success story that the mountain gorilla is growing. A few great species that is growing. And it's really, I'm proud of the efforts, joint collaboration that we are enjoying from the government, local authorities, communities.
During the 1994 genocide, these gorillas became victims of human violence.
So can you step up?
The civil unrest in Rwanda came to an end, peace prevailed, and the task of nation building began. However, this was not the same for these gorillas. The wars were far from over. They remained a target for poachers.
Doing conservation, protection, it's challenging in a way that, we are still facing challenges, like, we have a few poachers who are still going in the park. They put snares for antelopes and buffaloes, and unfortunately those snares can, they do catch young gorillas and they can die.
But Rwanda is keen on keeping this tourist attraction up and going. Each year, they hold the gorilla naming ceremony, natively referred to as Kwita Izina. The event was established as a celebration of nature together with the communities who protect the mountain gorillas.
Celebration that happens at national level. So you get populations living around the national parks very interested in attending, in thousands. You get people living in the capital city to attend because they are excited and they want to join in this celebration, in the conservation celebration. But what's picking up is the international attendance.
Ever since they began hosting Kwita Izina, 216 mountain gorilla babies have been named. According to 2010 census results by International Gorilla Conservation Program, gorilla population in Rwanda has increased from 381 in 2003 to 480 in 2010. Increase in number of these tourist attractions definitely lures more tourists in return. As stated by the Rwanda Development Board, 298,000 tourists have visited the Volcanoes National Park from 2006 to 2017. The Rwandan government has then moved to double the price of trekking permits from $750 to $1,500
Without knowing.
When we decide to go smart, we have to go smart. When we say we have to go clean, we have to go clean. So when we say we increase the gorilla permit, it's not just an abrupt decision. It has been thought about, and it's all about conservation. It's all about improving the habitat of mountain gorillas, endangered species, and also improving the lives of Rwandans.
Though this call has not been well received by some.
Avant, on recevait les clients de la classe moyenne, les clients qui peuvent venir et dormir dans mes...
Before, we had clients of mid-class and could occupy our rooms in permanent. These tourists could pay between $50 to $100, but now they don't come anymore. They go to Uganda and DRC Congo because the permit to see gorillas is negotiable and it's less expensive.
Ils sont partis en Uganda, en RDC, puisque là les prix sont négociables, moins chers.
Others like Philip Mason still say businesses for the top-end facilities haven't felt a pinch.
There is obviously a certain amount of effect that is going to happen with the permit increase that's happened recently, but for the top-end facilities such as this, business is good.
With such progress, it is good news that you're moving into a future where we won't have to refer to the gorillas as once upon a time.
We hope you're still enjoying the show. After the break, we have so much more for you to explore and see, so don't go anywhere.
Do you have a funeral policy?
No matter the sacrifices you've made or the hours you've worked, you can't always say yes. Avbob's Cashback Funeral Plan not only provides funeral insurance for your family, but also helps you to say yes to life's little extras more often. Because for every 5 claim-free years, you'll get your 5th year's premiums based on your monthly premium value paid back in cash. SMS Cash 1 to 41790 at no cost, and we'll call you. Avbob, we're here for you.
If you want an AFBOB representative to contact you, SMS Cash 1 and your name to 41790.
The Sapporo Festival in Japan is one of the most beautiful winter festivals in the world, and it draws visitors coming back year after year. We go to Japan to explore this wonderland. Japan is on a mission to fuel its economy. One way it's looking to do this is by encouraging a tourism boom in the country. Its target is 40 million annual visitors by 2020. And it's wasting no time in showing the rest of the world what unique experiences it has to offer. Sapporo City, the capital and largest city on the northernmost major Japanese island, Hokkaido, is currently playing host to the stunning Sapporo Snow Festival in the heart of the city. Sapporo is a unique metropolis with 1.9 million residents. What's more, it gets a staggering 6 meters of snowfall annually. Last year, the sheer beauty of the event drew a record-breaking 2,643,000 people to the city. This year, organizers hope to smash that figure and contribute to the country's tourism targets.
雪祭りのですね、テーマにつきましては、純白の夢呼ぶ世界の広場というのがですね、共通のテーマとしてあります。やはり最近特にですね、外国人の方が非常に増えてきているという印象があります。70年近い歴史を持つ札幌雪まつりですので、市民の方にもやっぱりたくさん楽しんでいただきたいと思いますし、また、雪まつりこの時期やはり観光客がどうしても少ない時期にもなってきてますので、たくさんの国内外を含めですね、 たくさんの方々にお越しいただいて、たくさん楽しんでいただけたらなというふうに思っております。
Over the years, Sapporo has learned to take advantage of its heavy winter snowfall, normally a hindrance for cities. The Snow Festival began back in 1950 with just 6 snow statues made by local students. Now, in its 69th year, it's become one of the country's most enticing events of the winter season, drawing in crowds to see the giant, beautiful snow and ice sculptures. These are the main attraction, and spectators are wowed by their dynamic and intricate designs. The array of sculptures is made only of snow and ice and spans an area of 1.5 kilometers.
We're coming back to Sapporo, definitely.
We're planning already.
We will recommend. We're coming back in April and in December. Only one word, awesome. Great.
We're from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It is our first time to Sapporo Snow Festival. It's a new experience because we're from a tropical country, so it's always new to see snow and what the Snow Festival is about.
It's quite a long walk, so we've seen a lot of beautiful sculptures, also a lot of food restaurants and places to eat. We are very happy to go and try some more food in a bit. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Creating the spectacular Sapporo Snow Festival is no easy feat. Japan's military forces transported the snow to the site in 5-ton trucks throughout the month leading up to the event. A staggering 6,000 truckloads of snow in total were delivered from the suburbs for the large-scale displays. A staggering 6,000 truckloads of snow in total were delivered from the suburbs for the large-scale displays that are built on site. What's more, the military personnel get involved in creating the sculptures with the locals and also help with the logistics of the event.
A lot of local Hawaiian people come here. Some of them never seen snow before, so their reaction to it is it's a picture itself. But for the people to take back, the people are so great here. The food is good. It's an experience that you only see once a year at this time. So it's something that you'll always have in your mind. You have a dream of it, and that's what we did.
Tourists and locals alike have come to see the spectacle and say it's unlike any other event they've been to.
The ice festival, that was pretty neat. I haven't seen that kind of art before, so that was pretty cool. And he likes horses, so he got to ride a horse, so it was a pretty good afternoon.
Wear lots of layers and have snow boots and prepare to be cold.
I think this is one of the things on our bucket list, and I'm glad we're getting to knock it out, this year. So
yeah, we love Japan, so we had a good time.
I mean, it's cold, but it's not as cold as I expected it to be, so it's really nice out here.
In Thailand, they don't have snow, and when come the winter, many people come to here for looking the snow and looking for the snow festival like this.
The Sapporo Snow Festival has 3 main sites that are each operated by different sponsors and each with different themes. The large-scale sculptures range from Japanese architecture and culture to well-known international buildings and figures from the entertainment world. And they are all lit up at night with specialized illumination technology. From a 100-meter snow slide and snowboarding competition to rafting and rides, the International Snow Sculpture Contest, the event offers something for everyone and is fast becoming an international hit. The cold couldn't keep revelers in Cologne from celebrating the so-called Women's Carnival in Cologne on Thursday, where they counted freezing temperatures with swaying and dancing and drink. Some 1,000 revelers gathered at the main square of Cologne's old town and counted down to the opening of the street carnival.
Ja, super! Wir sind seit 8 Uhr hier und es läuft, ne?
Man zieht sich erstmal dick und warm an, wie wir das gemacht haben, und trinkt was, und dann wird das Wetter überhaupt kein Problem mehr sein. Wir schunkeln, wir tanzen und dann haben wir warme Füße und alles ist gut.
Singen, tanzen und Zwiebellook. Zwiebellook mehrschichtig. Wenn man sich nicht entscheiden kann zwischen Blüt und Rot-Weiß, dann geht beides.
Traditionally, the official opening is at exactly 11:11 in local time, but party-goers gathered long before despite below-freezing temperatures. Cologne is one of 3 German carnival strongholds alongside Dusseldorf and Mainz, where in coming days revelers will take over the city. The high point of the silly season is the parade on Rose Monday, which will be watched by more than 1 million people. The organizers, together with the city of Cologne, have worked diligently on a security concept for the coming days. Carnival has various origins, stemming from the Roman tradition of celebrating the onset of spring and ancient Germanic fertility rites, which were later adopted by Christians as a way to usher in the fasting period before Easter.
Dancers from around the world took to the streets of Burkina Faso's second city, Bobo Dioulasso, this week, spontaneously performing routines on some unlikely stages as part of the In-Out Festival. Now in its 5th edition, the international gathering of dancers and choreographers takes place mostly in public spaces. The opening ceremony is marked by a parade. One of the venues this year was the council prison, where inmates in bright orange overalls performed a series of sets expressing their vulnerability and beauty in delicate movement. Festival organizer Agibu Sano said the prison stage was an important venue because it showed dance can free the mind.
C'est un festival international et professionnel de danse en plein cœur d'une prison civile. Pour moi, c'est le besoin de partager des moments intenses de tristesse, de joie, de gaieté avec les détenus et aussi de préparer leur réinsertion sociale. Parce que pour moi, c'est très très important qu'on prépare la réinsertion d'un détenu. Nous sommes dans une société africaine, nous avons des préjugés sur les détenus, nous savons que tous ceux qui sont là n'ont pas fait que du mal et il y en a qui ont commis des actes à un moment donné de leur vie et ils regrettent. Voilà, il y en a, c'est par erreur, ils sont là.
Ce festival est le bienvenu. Je pense que ça nous permet un peu de divertir les détenus. Je pense que ça les permet aussi d'oublier la prison. Voilà, et ça les permet aussi de s'épanouir. Voilà, ça permet aussi de voir autre chose. Voilà, sinon, ils sont là chaque jour assis. Voilà, ils ne voient pas des choses comme ça, aussi rares. Donc ça les permet quand même de un peu divaguer.
Some dances were presented on conventional stages to shine a light on the more technically skilled performers. Burkina Faso's Tamadja Dance Company presented one of the most poignant performances of the event, a dance about African migrants being sold into the slave trade in Libya. The issue has caused global outcry and impassioned pleas for the practice to end. From Taiwan, dancers Yen Cheng Liu and Su Ling Lin said the message throughout the festival seemed to resonate with the call to return to humanity.
这个作品叫做不合时宜。那我们在想一个东西是，到底什么事情在什么样的时间做是正确的跟错误的。然后我们也针对这次来这个地方也做了一些想象，是说，比如说，这个土地是什么，然后 之后的那个长起来的那个羽衣的树，其实我觉得那个是通则，就是不是说特别套用在布吉纳法索身上，而是我们到底有一个想法，有一个愿望，有一个梦想，到底要透过什么东西，它才可以成长。
The festival is free of charge and open to the public. Performances drew a healthy crowd, some curious onlookers and others, and enthusiasts of dance.
C'est commencé hier et j'étais vraiment impressionnée par tout le festival, par toute l'énergie qui est ici, les gens qui sont ici pour aider et avec beaucoup de motivation et énergie. Donc pour moi, ça me touche vraiment très fort. Je pense que c'est quelque chose de nouveau pour nous parce qu'en Belgique, c'est quelque chose de tout différent, bien sûr. Donc j'aimerais bien de prendre tout ce que j'ai comprendre ici en Belgique.
Burkina Faso, like most African countries, has a history with deep roots in dance, where movement goes beyond the body, communicating messages from the past, this world, and the next.
We are still exploring exciting mainland precinct, but for you, you can take a short break.
South Africa is in need of a frank dialogue. My name is Onkgopote JJ Tabani. Join me every Sunday at 8:30 on SABC News Channel 404 as we speak to leaders of society, business and government about the state of our nation. Come now, let's talk frankly.
Take your evening well informed with primetime news.
Thanks for tuning in. You're watching SABC News Prime. The burning land reform issue was also a point of discussion on the first day.
If you do not have a skills revolution, you will run into the kind of problems that we're having at the moment.
We have funded about 466,000 students, out of about 800,000 students that are in the university system.
South Africa says insufficient electricity and water remains one of the biggest barriers to development and prosperity on the continent.
The top four batsmen in the squad, Hashim Amla, Quinton de Kock, Faf du Plessis and AB de Villiers, are certainties in the starting lineup.
I really believe we cover all bases when it comes to spin bowling, seam bowling, proper pace bowling, and an amazing batting lineup.
Stay tuned every Monday to Sunday from 6 p.m. After a horrific accident, major questions were asked.
So step one, I asked myself, do I really want to die? And my answer to that was, I'm not sure. And then step two was, do I want my parents to bury me? And the answer to that was no.
Learning kept his brain in full action on how the brain works.
When I was in hospital, right, as I was saying, to catch up with my peers, I started to become obsessed with memory techniques and how the brain works and how we retain information.
Touching lives is his continuous mission.
I now work for a non-profit where we deal with access issues regarding kids with disabilities and persons with disability. We're busy working on beach access.
Being wheelchair-bound did not stop fun in his life.
I party in a wheelchair, I laugh in a wheelchair, I smile in a wheelchair.
For all your uplifting stories, catch Bupilong every Friday.
Venezuelan migrant workers in Colombia, fleeing economic devastation in their own country, are finding work with a touch of romance. picking and packaging Valentine's Day flowers to export to the United States ahead of the holiday. Hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans, many engineers, doctors and other professionals, have arrived in neighboring Colombia in recent years, fleeing their socialist-run country's collapsing economy, runaway inflation and rising malnutrition. They have found work, much of it informal, harvesting coffee, serving in restaurants and driving Uber vehicles. Colombia is the source of 74% of flowers imported into the US for Valentine's Day and the world's second largest flower producer. Some 35,000 tons of flowers will be sent to the US.
O sea, me ha sido muy raro porque yo toda mi vida he vivido en Venezuela. Yo tengo 19 años y yo todo eso lo he vivido en Venezuela. Y cuando vine acá pues fue un cambio muy duro porque me vine sin mis papás. Y me tocó acogerme yo misma, trabajar, o sea, duro. Acá es muy diferente a Venezuela, demasiado diferente.
The number of Venezuelans living in Colombia jumped 62% in the last half of 2017 to more than 550,000, the Colombian Migration Authority said last month. Less than a fourth of those people have visas. Many Venezuelans are likely to have entered the country through the porous and sporadically guarded 2,219-kilometer border between the two countries. More than 1 million Venezuelans have special migration cards that allow them to enter into Colombia during the day to buy food and scarce basics. Some 30,000 people use the cards daily, the Immigration Authority says.
Normalmente para las temporadas de San Valentín y de Madres requerimos más mano de obra pues para poder cumplir con la demanda de Estados Unidos y pues de todos los países a los cuales exportamos. Entonces pues este año contamos con un gran número de venezolanos pues que han llegado en busca de trabajo, pues acá en la empresa se les da la oportunidad desde que cumplan pues todos los requisitos que se les piden para ingresar a la empresa.
Valeska will earn the monthly minimum wage equivalent to about $278 and far removed from the $3 she used to get exchanging the legal minimum wage in Venezuela for dollars on the black market. Cross-border migration between Colombia and Venezuela is not new. Hundreds of thousands of Colombians moved to the neighboring country in the 1980s and 1990s, attracted by jobs in booming oil sectors or fleeing the country's long conflict.
Este país tiene un compromiso con los venezolanos que lastimosamente y dolorosamente han tenido que salir de su país por la incapacidad demostrada de quien lo está gobernando. Venezuela, en una época de prosperidad, también le abrió las puertas a los colombianos. Muchos colombianos en la época de la bonanza y de la buena economía de Venezuela, muchos colombianos partieron hacia allá y fueron bien recibidos. Hoy no podemos hacer lo contrario.
Despite some resistance to Venezuelan migrants in border towns and worries about crime and competition for jobs, the Colombian government has emphasized what it says is a responsibility to welcome Venezuelans.
Los que sean fuertes, porque yo sé que todos los venezolanos se quieren regresar a su país y sé que ellos se vinieron así como yo, por tener una mejor, o sea, por vivir bien. Y sé que para cada uno de ellos es duro, pero chavos para adelante, lo único que les puedo decir. Fuerza y fe.
The Colombian Foreign Ministry said last week that close to 600 businesses have been fined for employing Venezuelans at below minimum wage. Velasco, for her part, hopes someday she can return home.
London's famous Kew Gardens put the final finishing touches to its 23rd annual colourful Orchid Festival, ahead of its public opening this weekend. This year, the festival is inspired by Thailand, a country that has around 1,000 different types of orchids. Festival goers are greeted by a portrait of Thai King Maha Vajira Langkong.
Beautiful. Well, orchid for Thailand is actually the bridge for bilateral relation and cordial relation between Thailand and international community. Likewise, in these festivals, that Thai orchid is the bridge of friendship between the Thai peoples and the British.
A pond display that depicts the floating Bangpahin Palace and a makeshift rice paddy.
So for this year the theme is Thailand, and Thailand is an extremely interesting country because it's got a very, very special relationship with plants and especially with orchids. So you can find orchids in like cultural aspects, but also medicinals and religious. So then we thought, being such an exciting tropical country, we thought that Thailand would suit the Orchid Festival very well.
A Thai delegation led by Ambassador to the UK, Pisanu Suvanayata, previewed the festival ahead of its opening.
Orchids is extremely fascinating type of flower, if you want, because it's beautiful. A lot of them are very intriguing. They've got very different type of shapes, many different colors, but also the size are very variable. You've got very, very small ones, but also almost as big as my hand, and that's quite intriguing.
The tropical climate of the giant greenhouse gives Londoners a chance to warm up from the typically grey, cold February weather.
So the festival at this time of the year is great for people that are very interested in tropical climate, because as you can see, I'm on my t-shirt, so it's really warm. It's also quite humid, so it almost feels like being in the rainforest. While outside it's so cold, today we're lucky because it's sunny, but otherwise it's pretty grey. You come in and you get sort of like a shower of colour and warmth. I think it is the right time of the year to do this because it sort of lifts the spirit up a bit.
There are 6,950 orchids of all shapes and sizes on display at the festival, which took 1,346 hours to create. And the festival will be open to the public from February to March 11th.
Unfortunately, we've reached the end of this week's episode of Trendz Travel. Join us again next week as we explore the world, same time, same place. From myself, Slondiwe Mtalane, and the very hardworking Trendz Travel team, see you next time.